And before we start with the first question, I just want to give you guys some hints. Okay, so the first thing is when you are working with these, especially in terms of variables. So ek praat nou nie van ons het nou die hoek 40 grade en die hoek 30 grade nie. Ek praat van veral wanneer jy werk met alpha en beta. Okay? If you see, for instance, they say prove that something is something and you have a sign of, let's say, A plus B, then that probably came from sine of 180 degrees minus A plus B. And this you would have gotten from angles of a triangle. So if you see somewhere that they have that, you know where they ask, prove that this is equal to this, or that the side AB can be defined as la 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 la, and you see sine and two angles added together, dan het dit heel waarskynlik gekom van 'n hoek wat jy gekry het in terme van A en B. And how did you get it? You got it in terms of 180 degrees minus the other two given angles. Okay. Dit is nie net dit altyd nie, maar dit is die moeite werd om uit te kyk vir hom. If it is this one, then you have to write down this thing first before you can simplify it to that. Okay? So you have to show that you knew using angles of a triangle. If you have two of the angles given, the third one will be 180 minus those two angles. And then you can use your reduction formulas to write it as sine of A plus B. Okay. Want 180 minus is mos in die tweede kwadrant, sin is positief in die tweede kwadrant. Another one that is worth looking out for is if you have cos of an acute angle in a fraction. Now, once again, this isn't always true, but it's something that you can keep in the back of your mind. This might have came from sine of 90 degrees minus that. Because remember, those two are co-functions. So if you are working towards a specific answer and you see it's in a fraction, why am I saying a fraction? Because oftentimes the fraction is when you use the sign formula. Nee? Want die sin formule is mos breuke. Nee? Dan is daar baie goeie kans dat in een van jou breuke daar gestaan het sin van 90 minus 'n hoek. Maar dit gaan moeilik wees om raak te sien as jy nie uitkyk daarvoor nie, want voor jou op die bladsy gaan daar staan kos. Né? So, dis hoekom ek sê as daar staan kos van 'n skerp hoek binne in 'n breuk, be aware that it could have come from sine of 90 degrees minus another angle. Okay. Dan sommer maar net as 'n general remark, lees altyd mooi wat vra hulle. And I'm talking about your other trigonometry and this. If they're asking for the general formula, give the general formula. Nee? As hulle sê, los jou antwoord in eenvoudigste wortelvorm. Remember the very first stuff that we did on the other booklet? They said leave your answer in third form where necessary. Please leave it in third form because you will lose a mark if you don't. Okay? And then focus on the minor details, making sure your signs are correct, working in the quadrants that you are working with. Okay, good. Let's move on. So, for question 8, they say, okay, in the following sketch, P is a vertical line. So PS is a vertical line. In other words, this one is a 90-degree angle. Do you agree? Nee? So daai sê nou maar 'n paal wat op die grond geplant is en daai is 'n kabel of whatever. But you need to be able to interpret that. Okay. So hulle sê dis 'n vertikale lyn, driehoek, S kie R lê in die horisontale vlak en dan gee hulle vir jou daai hoek theta, hy is op die skets, hulle gee vir jou die hoek alfa. Hulle gee ook vir jou dat PS geskryf word as H en dan gee hulle laaste vir jou dat S kie gelyk is aan SR. First one they say is show that, oh this is only one question, hectic. Show that QR can be given as 2H tan theta cos alpha. Okay. Now I'm going to quickly mark this line and then I want you guys to tell me why. Why am I concerned with the line QS if they asked for the line QR? It is the common side. Okay. So whatever you do with these, you are probably on the right track if you start by looking at the common side. So wat jy meeste van die tyd gaan doen is stem hulle saam, die sy wat hulle actually soek is hierdie ene. I'm going to pick another color. Is this one. Nee? Dit is die sy wat hulle op die ou ene soek en sien julle hy lê in die driehoek QSR. Okay? But I'm not going to start by working in the triangle QSR. I'm going to start by working in the triangle PSQ. Why? Because in that triangle, I have that theta and that h. And the only way to get the theta and the h from that triangle into the bottom triangle is by connecting them with the common side. So ek gaan begin in die ander driehoek en sê ek gaan eers die sy QS skryf in terme van theta en van h. And if I have that, then I can move on to the triangle that I'm actually working in. Good. Okay. So, and you don't have to write all of this down, but I'm going to do everything with reasons. Because it's not a bad practice to do this with reasons. Nee? Want dan weet jy ten minste wat jy gedoen het. En jy gaan nie 'n punt verloor as jy die verkeerde rede skryf nie. Okay. In driehoek PQS, and I sometimes draw it for myself as well. I'm looking for the side QS. And I'm going to say, to find QS, which is the common side, as ons werk in daai driehoek, sien julle, ek kan werk met tan van theta. I'm going to redraw the triangle for you guys so you can see it. That's theta. Why am I working with tan? Because this is the one I'm looking for, this is the common side, and this is the one I have. So die twee sye waarna ek kyk is die oorstaande en die aangrensende sy. Nee? Ek het mos nou niks te doen met PQ nie. That's why I'm not looking at sine or cos, because that is the hypotenuse. You have to use the answer to guide you along the way. So you all agree that we have to work with the side QS because that is the common side. Nee? En H is die een wat hulle vir ons gee. En ons sien H is hierso. Nee. H is daar in my antwoord. So ek moet hom kry van die een driehoek na die ander driehoek. So ek gaan sê tan van theta is gelyk aan oorstaande op aangrensend en dan gaan ek hom kry in terme van QS. So dan het ek QS is gelyk aan H mal tan theta. Now what I always do when I'm busy with these is I sort of almost want to say check that I'm on the right path. Sien julle die H en die tan theta is in my antwoord. Okay, so it makes sense that I have them already. Okay, now I have this side QS in terms of H and theta. So now I'm going to move into the bottom triangle. And in that triangle, I'm going to define a few things first. I'm first going to start off by saying in triangle QSR, I can clearly see that the angle R, no, let's call it SRQ, will be equal to alpha. And I told you guys I'm writing reasons as well. There's hoeke teenoor gelyke sye. Wat kan ek ook sê? Ek kan ook sê dat die hoek QS R gelyk is aan 180 grade minus 2 alfa. Okay. So, ons het nou hierdie sy en ons het sy oorstaande hoek, né? So. En ons het hierdie sy en sy oorstaande hoek. So ek gaan die sin formule gebruik. Because we are looking for QR and that over sine of 180 degrees minus 2 alpha is equal to QS, which we have in terms of theta and H, over sine of alpha. Do you see, here's the reduction one I talked about earlier. You know? Okay, so I'm going to say this, I can write as sine of 2 alpha QS over sine alpha. Jy kan op hierdie stadium al klaar kom en vir QS kom instel in terme van H en tan. Ek gaan hom eers 'n bietjie verder vereenvoudig voordat ek dit doen. But you are allowed to put that in there. Nee, want jy het mos vir QS uitgewerk as H tan theta. Okay. Goed. Nou gaan ons net gou vinnig weer stoktyk. Ek moet uitkom by QR is gelyk aan 2H maal tan alpha cos tan theta cos alpha. Ek het klaar daai deel en daai deel sorted. So ek kort nog die 2 en ek kort die cos. Op die oomblik sit ek met sin van 2 alpha and then I also have a sine of alpha. What can I do? Think of the identities that you did in matric. I have a double angle there. Okay? So ek gaan and there's your cos. And now your sin can cancel out. sien julle? And then you add the answer because the 2 is also there. So 2, I'm substituting QS, which was H times tan theta, and I'm left with a cos. So hierdie stukkie is QS wat ek gaan instel. Ag nee,